The problem is the phrase continued to be used during the second intifada, which was characterized by violence towards civilians, violence towards Jewish people just for being Jewish, bus bombings. And so when this phrase continues to be used through the second intifada, you have to acknowledge that the phrase's meaning has changed. This is no different to me than someone flying the Nazi flag and you going, well, what the fuck, dude? You can't fly that. The Nazis flew that flag. And them saying, well, actually, the swastika originally meant peace and love or whatever it was. The meaning of the symbol and the phrase has changed over time as it got used in different situations. And personally, I don't love the phrase because of this. But if you insist on continuing to use it, clarify what you mean by it. That you're not talking about violence against civilians, that you're not talking about violence against Jewish people just for being Jewish, that you're saying you support Palestinian liberation, that you support their rebellion against their oppressors. And you might acknowledge that Palestinians under international law have a right to violently resist their oppressors, which is not civilians, it's not Jewish people, it's the IDF. But you also, if you're going to use international law as a guide to morality, you also have to acknowledge that it is a war crime, it is a violation of that same international law to commit violence targeting civilians, which is what the Second Intifada was characterized by and what October 7th was. You can't pick and choose which international laws you like, and then for the ones you like, say, well, we're using international law as a guide to morality. You have to acknowledge that there are people who will use the phrase as a way of justifying violence against civilians and against Jewish people just for being Jewish. And that's bad. And if you continue to use the phrase without explaining it, those people will feel emboldened because they will find other people using the phrase. Zoran Mamdani is acknowledging this, and he is listening to the Jewish people that live in New York City to address that. Don't get me wrong, I'm in favor of Palestinian liberation, but we will never get that if we just don't listen to Jewish people expressing concerns about these kinds of things. We will never get there if we don't listen to and help unpack and disassemble existing beliefs that were probably taught to a lot of people by Zionist propaganda. You can't, in one breath, talk about how widespread Zionist propaganda is among Jewish people, and then turn around and say, well, we don't have to engage with Zionist propaganda because it's propaganda, it's not reality. If you don't engage with that, they will continue to believe that. You have to talk to them and say, I hear you. I hear your concerns.
And if you're still worried that he's capitulating to Zionism, since this interview, he has still pledged that he would order NYPD to arrest Netanyahu if he sets foot in New York City.